Hi everyone, and welcome to another video of the SAFI webinar series. In this video, we are going to have an overview of contour loads. To apply a contour load on a mesh contour, we first need to select the contour. Next, we select the command contour loads from this list on the addition toolbar. We can apply a concentrated, pressure, or thermal load in a similar way to plate loads. To apply any load, we first need to select a basic load. If the basic load is not yet created, we can create the basic load in this dialog box. We assign a name and a load type. We then click OK. For the concentrated load, we specify the load intensity, for example, minus 100 kilonewtons, and we specify a position relative to the internal axes of the mesh contour. To display the internal axes of the mesh contour, we can use the command Edit Mesh Contour or the key C on the keyboard. The origin of the mesh contour is this joint, and the axes X and Y are in these two directions. In this case, if I specify a position of 2 meters in the X direction and I click Add, I will see the concentrated load on the mesh contour. The advantage of applying loads on a mesh contour instead of plates is we can change the mesh without losing the load. For example, if I edit the mesh contour and I change the size of the plate from 500 millimeters to 1 meter and I click Generate, I still have the load that is applied to the mesh contour. The next available load option is pressure. So, we specify a pressure that will be applied on a specific direction on the mesh contour. If we want to apply a pressure that is perpendicular on this slab, for example, minus 2 kilonewtons, and we specify the axis Y, and we click Add, now we can see this pressure that is applied on this mesh contour. The last type of load is the thermal load. We can specify the temperature gradient delta T membrane for membrane effects and the temperature gradient delta T bending for bending effect in a similar way as plates. Let's add a membrane load of 25 degrees and we click Add. Now we can see the load here. It is possible to edit the concentrated pressure and thermal loads in a numerical table by using the button available next to the basic load button. If we click on this button, we can edit the concentrated load in the numerical table. For example, we can edit the position, the intensity of the force, we can delete the force from here, and we can create loads as well. The same thing for pressure load. We can click on this button, Pressure Loads, to display the pressure control loads in a numerical table. For thermal loads, we have this button, Thermal Load on Mesh Contours, and we can do a similar operation as well. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching and catch you in another one of our webinar series videos.